from the Instagram account of Van Lathan, who I guess used to work for TMZ. He's a weirdo Hollywood hack, Muppet, shill who parrots the talking point at every possible turn. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It's free for you, helps me a lot. But if you want to help me even more and spend a little bit of money, go ahead and buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. That is on Amazon.com, and the link will, of course, be in the description. But here, Van Lathan says, Bakari Sellers says that Stephen A. Smith isn't the only, quote, useful idiot that speaks for black people in white spaces. And that sentence makes no sense, right? So basically, I think what he's saying is, well, Stephen A. Smith has said something that I don't like, so he's in white spaces. What does that even mean? Obviously, Stephen A. Smith doesn't speak for all black people. Not one person speaks for all people, right? I mean, except maybe the president, who might have the best interests of Americans as a whole in mind. But Stephen A. Smith got off the plantation, and then, of course, he was reeled back in and forced to apologize because people like this just can't, I mean, they just can't fathom the idea that, and even Stephen A. Smith, for the record, I mean, he's not like a stone cold right winger. He's no Jason Whitlock. He's just saying, you guys, you took it a little bit too far. But for people like this, it is just out of the realm of possibility for somebody to even mention the truth. And now they are called useful idiots, right? I mean, how are you going to bat for Bo Biden? I mean, this is quite literally the same thing as saying, well, if you're having trouble deciding whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. It's the same thing.
Use the term that I think is being underused right now. Useful idiot. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Useful idiot, right? Useful idiot is just code word for somebody who doesn't agree with me or who I don't agree with. And the last part of the caption here, he names other prominent black figures that he feels speaks from the white gaze. They're just making things up, and their pearls are clutched. They are highly offended if you do not obey. What are they getting out of this? Right? I mean, are these real Democrat henchmen? Maybe Bakari Sellers is, right? He's on CNN all the time, so it's probably part of his job. But I genuinely don't know if Van Lathan is really this stupid or is a little bit more evil and actually cashing out for this propaganda.
The world is full of useful idiots. And if there's one thing that I struggle, that I never want to be, should I say, it's a useful idiot.
Well, too bad. You actually are. And that's putting it nicely. You are a useful idiot in best case scenario. Worst case, you're completely evil.
The question I have for you now is, are there others? Is Stephen A. Smith the only one? Who are the other useful idiots?
No. He's not the only one.
Oh, are there other black people who aren't agreeing with this nonsense? Can you tell me who they are?
I don't think that you can, from me knowing you and
this Bakari Sellers guy, I'm sorry, but I constantly am getting him confused with Andrew Gillum in my head because he sort of looks like Andrew Gillum, you people. And he does a podcast just like Andrew Gillum. And we all remember how close Florida came. I mean, they dodged that bullet, right? He's found in a hotel with 2 male hookers and liquid Viagra. Think about that. What planet do you have to be on to be in a Miami hotel after losing the governor's race and shooting up liquid Viagra? And I'm sorry, I mean, that's Andrew Gillum. Different guy. But my point is, are they really that different? No.
The people who are around you to give you some ounce or modicum of humility, I don't think you'll fall in that category ever, which is the same reason I don't put Charlamagne in that same category, because you come from a place of inquiry. Many of the times in which you're posing or postulating ideas about policy, you're literally inquiring and on this.
Yeah, but you hate questions, bro. Stop. Just tell us the truth, bro. Okay, you're my friend. You parrot the talking points most of the time. Same thing with Charlamagne. But Stephen A. Smith, maybe he's never been on a show with him. Maybe he doesn't know him. And Stephen A. Smith, again, is not a hardcore right-winger. He's just like, why are you guys using lawfare? And that was too much, to where he quite literally apologized, but it's too late. They hate you anyway, so you might as well just stay 10 toes down and say this doesn't make any sense, which we all know But these people are so pathetic, and they are doing all of this to make sure that you vote for Bo Biden, just like the Kennedy clan. Oh, everything is racist, and Bobby Kennedy is dangerous. And you have a whole family of American white royalty telling you that you should vote for Bo Biden because, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Trump is orange man bad, of course, and their own brother is dangerous because he kind of, you know, took his own stance on the forced farmers school. This is just ridiculous, right? I'm not sure. I genuinely do not know how this is still happening. It's over.
Kind of journey to have this insatiable desire to learn as much as you can. It comes from a very genuine place. The difference between someone like Van Lathan, Charlemagne, or whomever, and Jason Whitlock, Ice Cube, and Stephen A. Smith, as I talk about in the book, is because they have a desire to be white adjacent.
You're just making this up. So Charlemagne and Van Lathan, they want to learn. Okay, fine, fair enough. But the other guys don't want to learn. They just want to be white adjacent. As if you were going to answer any of their questions anyways, bro. You're just a weirdo. I can't stand these people.
They have a desire to be accepted in a community where they can give their platform to these individuals who serve us no good. I think that when you allow yourself...
And you want to talk about white adjacent as he goes to bat for the Biden administration? What?
To be that vessel. Although it may be unintentional on your part, we don't have time for that to be a part of a silo, which is then used against us to reinforce narratives that erode our place in society.
It literally doesn't make any sense. It was words out, or reinforce negative stereotypes that erode our place in society. What? And I've said it 100 million times. They should just admit this has nothing to do with the color of your skin, but the content of your character and willingness to bow to the mob at every possible opportunity. And here he is once again, Bakari Sellers on Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the Fraud, and he once again talks about the white gaze. Oh, he wants to be white adjacent. All right, bro.
What do you say about Stephen A. Smith?
I think that he appreciates the white gaze.
He's really trying to make that happen. He really wants to push this phrase, oh, the white gaze. Bro, you literally want the white gaze too. That's why you're constantly going to bat for Bo Biden, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I guess he thinks people are stupid enough to buy this. And luckily, there's a bunch of stupid people on Van Lathan's page because they are out there. I'm always genuinely surprised at how stupid people can be. But it's a little bit better on Charlemagne's page because even though he goes to bat for the establishment constantly, he's kind of like Bill Maher. Like, he sees all the stupid stuff, but then at the end of the day still says, well, you know, we got to save democracy. All right, bro, you're an idiot. But you can see Bakari doesn't speak for black men. He buck dances too much for Democrats, right? I mean, anytime a black person thinks differently than the group, they are seen as anti-black. So that's what they're scared of, is that somebody might think for themselves. But I digress. Let's hear more about the white gaze.
And I think that he's made him
the white gaze.
What's wrong with appreciating the white LGBTQ community?
I didn't say G-A-Z-E.
Oh,
gaze.
What a moron. See, he's really trying to make this happen. Yeah, Gretchen, it's not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
That is so fetch.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
He wants to do that so bad, but it doesn't make any sense.
I like you said that. Boy, what's wrong with the white gaze?
Gaze. G-A-Z-E.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I was like, what are you saying?
But nah, you know, he pals around with the Sean Hannitys and Tucker Carlsons of the world. He gives them their platform. Just, you know,
he gives them their platform. He pals around. So you're mad that Stephen A. Smith, a huge television sports personality, talks to other people. What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to just shut them out, right? Because if the shoe were on the other foot, that would be completely unacceptable. And there's another story from Newsweek, I believe, that I want to take a look at after this. It's a little bit older, but it is a clear cut. It is the picture of if the shoe, I mean, we constantly talk about if the shoe were on the other foot, but whatever, they're going to keep doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Last week, he's talking about how when Donald Trump says that black folk find it relatable that he's going through his prosecution. I think that his anti-intellectualism, Stephen A. Smith, confused that that persecution with prosecution.
His anti-intellectualism. So, and I don't know too much about Stephen A. Smith's background, but the anti-intellectualism is like them say, well, you didn't go to a historically black college, or you didn't go through the indoctrination camp, so you're not one of us. You're anti-intellectual. It's the same thing. White rural rage. They love people to go to college, of course, because they can make a whole bunch of money. It's a weird scam, but also, on top of the money that the establishment is going to clean up and scaremonger you and saying, oh, you're not going to get a job if you don't go to college, but they can also beat you into submission with their propaganda. Anti-intellectualism? Okay, bro.
Like, there is, you cannot compare the plight of my father, who got wrongfully arrested, went to trial, went to prison, right? That is a persecution to the plight of Donald Trump.
Shot at.
Yeah, shot. Not even shot at. Shot.
Yeah.
Right. So you
Massacre.
can't compare that. And I think that
what does your father getting shot at have to do with Donald Trump or Stephen A. Smith? How does this guy have a job? This is absolute. I know how he has a job, because the crazier you get, the more nonsense you spew. I mean, that's how you get into these positions.
he talks loudly. And I think he comes from just a place of anti-intellectualism where he doesn't know. And I think that he's used as a conduit for white supremacy, particularly in these echo chambers. And what happens is white folk, white conservatives are able to be like, when you say dumb stuff like, you know, black people find it relatable that Donald Trump is indicted, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, it perpetuates stereotypes that we're hyper-criminalized, etc. But when you say that, white folk now look at you and be like, aha, there's even a Negro that says that too. Mm-hmm. And he's just, he's kind of a useful idiot when it comes to things like that. Mm-hmm. Now, I disagree with his sports takes all the time, mm-hmm. right? But that is what it is. But the stakes are too high for that level of ignorance. And so, and Jason Whitlock is a different animal. I think Jason Whitlock, Ice Cube, Stephen A. Smith are all in different lanes. I don't want people to think they're the same, but I do think they contribute to an erosion of our culture and particularly the success thereof.
I don't like the generalization of when they ask those questions. Like if somebody asked Stephen A. Smith that, he shouldn't accept it. He should say, I can't speak for all black people.
I mean, but that's anti-intellectualism. Mm-hmm.
What? Saying Stephen A. Smith saying he can't speak for all black people is anti-intellectualism? I'm absolutely losing it.
I'm losing my patience.
Oh, and that's also like a weird level of confidence because he appreciated the question. So he was like, I'm an arbiter of all things that are black. Let me tell you how black folk feel. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he used to hang out like Sheriff David Clark. I mean, you heard what he said about, remember back in 2017, you gave him Donkey of the Day in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, 2017, 2018. Because he was like, back when J.R. Smith and the players were wearing hoodies, he said that they shouldn't wear hoodies because it would remind white people of Trayvon Martin. Like, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. This isn't the first time we've been down this path with him. And so, it's about accountability in our community. So I just called him out.
But what do you say about Stephen A. Smith?
I'm absolutely astonished at this level of mental gymnastics. And again, I constantly go back and forth. I truly don't know if people like Bakari Sellers are pure evil or just really that stupid. And here's the last one from Newsweek. What I learned working with white men in corporate America. And what does that even mean? Right? You mean like what I learned when I had a job? Is that what she's trying to say? And obviously, if these tables were turned, if the shoe were on the other foot, it would be an absolute outrage. Could you imagine what I learned working with black women in corporate America? That would not be allowed to fly. But somehow, these you people, they get a free pass to do anything. You got Tiffany Henyard, you got Tish James, you got Fannie Willis, just to name a few, who think they can get away with quite literally anything under the guise of being a black woman. And of course, you have the Bakari Sellers and the Charlemagnes and all of those people who parrot these talking points. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should all go to the Wild at Heart Men's Conference together. Jackson, once a pastor and former Boy Scouts troop leader, stood at attention at the head of the table, holding up a handful of glossy brochures about the conference. He scanned the other faces, nodding in either consideration or agreement with the idea, except his eyes never met mine. Out of the 6 of us, I was the only woman and person of color in the room. A wisp of coldness blew through me. Okay. All right, you're going to paint this like rosy picture. And it doesn't really matter what she says. This is actually a really long article, and it's probably not worth reading the entire thing. But I just thought it was fitting when you have interviews with Bakari sellers and they're slamming, they're lambasting Stephen A. Smith for saying something they didn't like, even though he apologized. And they're talking about the white gaze and anti-intellectualism and useful idiots. And then you have this. I mean, all I can really see is here's a story about when I had a job. And if you just switch a couple words, it would be absolutely unacceptable